In today's video, we're going to cover the biggest mistakes in NBA history, specifically focusing on trade mistakes. Make sure you give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Number 5. Boston Celtics traded Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry to the Brooklyn Nets. In the aftermath of the Big Three era, the Celtics general manager, Danny Ainge, decided that it was time for another rebuild. So in 2013, the Celtics traded their aging stars Jason Terry, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Gerald Wallace, Chris Humphries, Marshawn Brooks, Keith Bogans, Chris Joseph, and 3 unprotected first-round draft picks. The trade was obviously all about getting Pierce and KG out of the Celtics' payroll while getting draft picks in return. The arrival of Pierce and Garnett added a much-needed veteran presence in the Nets locker room, which complemented the leadership of their 1-2 punch in Joe Johnson and Darren Williams. The revamped Nets roster looks strong when you look at the stat sheet, but the expected success never materialized in the hardcourt. Although they have managed to make it to the playoffs, the old legs of KG and Pierce have little to no impact on their playoff run, as they got booted out by the much younger Miami Heat in the second round. On the flip side, the 2 first-round picks were used by Boston to acquire their potential franchise cornerstones, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, while the last first-round pick was used in a trade package that eventually brought Kyrie Irving in Boston in 2017. Number 4. Oklahoma City Thunder traded James Harden to the Houston Rockets. After falling short against the Miami Heat in the 2012 NBA Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder were at a crossroads on which of the big names they were going to retain for their title rerun. Lucrative deals were already handed to the franchise's superstars Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, as well as a contract extension to their premier defensive anchor, Serge Ibaka. To keep their young core intact, OKC offered the reigning Sixth Man of the Year a $55.5 million 4-year contract to retain Harden. Playing behind the shadows of the Durant-Westbrook tandem, Harden feels that he can do so much more with his blossoming talent, and thinks that he should be paid with a superstar caliber contract, same with Durant and Westbrook. Harden rescinded OKC's offer and got what he wanted when he got shipped to the Houston Rockets in exchange for Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and other future picks that turned out to be Steven Adams and Mitch McGary. The Beard quickly showed that he's capable to handle an alpha role for the Rockets, as he tallied 25.9 points, 5.8 assists, while playing 38.3 minutes per game in his first season with his new team. Back in OKC, things didn't pan out for Kevin Martin, as he only played a season with the Thunder, and Jeremy Lamb turned out to be a mediocre player for the Thunder in his 3-year stint with the team. In 2012, Harden finally got paid when he agreed to accept an $80 million 5-year max contract and became an all-star and eventually a one-time MVP playing for the Houston Rockets. Number 3. Milwaukee Bucks trade Dirk Nowitzki to the Dallas Mavericks. Back in the late 90s, taking an unknown international talent was considered to be a high-risk, high-reward proposition. The Milwaukee Bucks almost hit the jackpot when a future Hall of Famer fell into their lap. But as soon as that happened, they let him slip out of their hands. In the 1998 draft, the Dallas Mavericks selected the burly 300-pounder Robert Traylor out of the University of Michigan as their number 6 overall pick. When it was the Bucks' time to draft, they selected a tall, skinny, blonde-haired German shooter named Dirk Nowitzki as their number 9 pick. Before the draft, the Mavericks head coach, Don Nelson, already kept an eye on Nowitzki and expressed his desire in acquiring the 7-foot German. Coincidentally, the Bucks wanted Traylor, who also goes by the moniker Tractor, as he proved to be a dominating force in the paint and could fit well in the low-post-driven era of the NBA. With everything set in place, the Bucks dealt Nowitzki to the Mavs along with their number 19 pick, Pat Garrity, in exchange for Traylor. Fast forward a few seasons later, Dirk turned out to be the missing piece that the Mavericks needed to turn the struggling franchise back into its winning ways. To make things even brighter for the team, the Mavs also traded away Pat Garrity along with several players for a package deal that brought the future 2-time MVP Steve Nash into Dallas. The Mavericks became a playoff powerhouse during their run in the early 2000s, backed by the team of Nash, Nowitzki, and Michael Finley. Meanwhile, Traylor struggled throughout his short-lived NBA career as he battled with overweight issues and heart problems, while playing for several teams. He averaged 4.8 points and 3.7 rebounds during his 7 seasons in the NBA. Sadly, Robert Tractor Traylor passed away due to a heart attack in 2011. Nowinski continued to have a stellar career with the Mavs, as he appeared in 14 All-Star games, got one MVP award in 2007, and a championship in 2011. Up to this day, the Nowinski-Traylor trade is considered to be one of the greatest trade heists in the history of the NBA. Number 2, Seattle Supersonics traded Scottie Pippen to Chicago Bulls. In the recently released basketball documentary, The Last Dance, Michael Jordan was quoted as saying, "Whenever they speak Michael Jordan, they should speak Scottie Pippen." But did you know that Scottie Pippen almost didn't suit up for the team in the Windy City? In the 1987 NBA draft that featured David Robinson as the top pick, the Supersonics were 3 picks ahead of the Bulls, who were placed at number 8. When it was Seattle's time to draft, they chose a kid out of Central Arkansas named Scottie Pippen. The Bulls already targeted Pippen as their guy for the draft, and they needed to pull off a trade to get him to Chicago. So when it was Chicago's turn to pick, they grabbed the 6'10" Haitian big man, Holden Polonese. A few minutes after, the Bulls proposed the trade to the Sonics that finally landed Pippen to Chicago in exchange for Polonese and several draft picks. At that time, the trade between Pippen and Polonese made sense as Seattle needed a defensive big man to complement their scoring trio of Dal Ellis, Xavier McDaniels, and Tom Chambers. On the other end, Pippen's arrival in Chicago and the acquisition of the draft's number 10 pick, Horace Grant, lessened the scoring burden from Jordan and provide additional firepower to bolster the Bulls' offensive attack. Polonese played over the course of 5 years for the Sonics and averaged 5 points and 4.5 rebounds in the process. Pippen, on the other hand, was one of the players who pioneered the point forward role and played a crucial role in transforming the Bulls into a winning franchise. Scottie also developed to be an elite superstar in his own right, having 7 All-Star appearances while winning 6 NBA titles, and he's also a 2-time inductee in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Number 1, Charlotte Hornets traded Kobe Bryant to the Los Angeles Lakers. When Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired in '89 and Magic played his final season in the mid-'90s, it was clearly evident that the era of the Showtime Lakers had come to an end. Simply put, the Lakers needed a new superstar that could carry the winning tradition of the franchise into the next generation. On the other side of the spectrum, the Charlotte Hornets had a 41-41 win-loss record prior to the 1996 season and badly needed a guy to fill the void that Alonzo Mourning left after he departed for the Miami Heat. Coming into the 1996 NBA draft, the then Lakers general manager, Jerry West, already had set his sights on an athletic 17-year-old kid out of Lower Merion High School named Kobe Bean Bryant. As the 1996 draft unfolded, Kobe's agent had to convince the New Jersey Nets to pass Kobe so that he could land in a team where the Lakers can propose a better negotiation. Luckily, the Nets selected Kerry Kittles at number 8, which helped Kobe's stock plummet and got picked by the Hornets at number 13. Bryant was quickly dealt with the Hornets in exchange with their starting center, Vlade Divac, who at first threatened to retire rather than seeing himself playing in Charlotte. Divac only played 2 seasons with the Hornets before he was transferred to the Sacramento Kings. He turned out to be a decent center, averaging 11.8 points, grabbing 8.2 rebounds an outing throughout his 16-year pro career. As we all know, Kobe Bryant became one of the best players that ever laced the sneaker. He was an 18-time All-Star, 2-time Finals MVP, 1-time Season MVP, and 5-time NBA champion. He also ranks 4th all-time in scoring, highlighted by his 81-point game performance, which is the second highest production in terms of points in a single NBA game.